it would appear that we are getting threatened with a very good time. And a lot of people on Twitter are legitimately upset that I do not care about the writers. And I have to say something about this, as a content creator myself. When the previous writer's strike happened, it was during the time Stargate was on. And I remember that many of my shows were put on hiatus. And I genuinely sympathize with the writers. I was saying, like, well, these people have made my childhood. They created so many great shows. Pay them more money. Give them more cash. They deserve it. But the writer's strike that's happening now, I'm not even noticing that it's happening. I genuinely don't give a fuck. The people that show nothing but disgust and disdain towards their own customers on Twitter are now rallying with the Marxist symbols, asking me to care. I legitimately don't. I can't name a single thing that these people have created that I am even tempted to rewatch 10 years from now. I wonder if even the left-leaning people on Twitter that claim to like their shows are going to rewatch the next She-Hulk. Are going to rewatch She-Hulk 15 years from now. Because I tell you this, it's been more than 10 years, and right now I'm rewatching Stargate. Because that's a good show. Do you guys see yourself watching any of the current shows in the future? Legit question. So instead, I guess I'll have to champion diversity. I'll support what these writers have been preaching me to do for the last 10 years. I'll watch manga, anime, and Korean films because those writers do deserve to make money. And they're so disingenuous about it, by the way. Like, you see leftists and other, I guess, like, upstarting writers write tweeters. Like, I don't know when they have time to write their books because they're tweeting all the time. But they're going around and saying, oh, well, so, like, residual payments. Oh, my God, look at this guy. He made $200 and he wrote for She-Hulk. And when you Google how much salary these people are making, it's usually between $4,000 to $6,000 for a couple of weeks of writing. They're making more money than I am. They're insulting me. And they want my sympathy as well? Like, how greedy are you? How greedy? Like, you want my sympathy. That's what you want now. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, you're making more than me. You must have a better lifestyle than I do. Like all these individuals, right? They have formed their little clique. They have formed their little bubble using a highly controversial ideology, which is communism. And you can see it in their symbols, right? Like the Marxist fist is on full display. So they assault... And they will go after and attack anyone that disagrees with them. How about this? How about this thing? This really pisses them off if you say it on Twitter. And I don't know why. But I feel about the writers the exact same way they feel about Trump supporters. Like, legit. Not more nor less. Like, literally the exact same. Why are they upset? They're your customers, aren't they? Like, you're making movies for everyone. You're being inclusive. Trump supporters are around 50% of the United States. Those are hundreds of millions of people. And I want to feel the same way about you, like you feel about them. Why are you upset? Did I say something wrong? Would it be a term of service violation if I say this? Like, what do you feel about Trump supporters? Right? So this is the thing. Like, you get nothing but these individuals looking down on the working class. Like here's another example. Did you guys watch Rings of Power Plus Privilege? I can understand why you didn't. But there is an interesting scene from that, which a writer had to put it in. The humans are upset that the elves are taking their jobs. And they're basically saying that, well, an elf doesn't sleep, he doesn't tire, he lives for thousands of years in which he can perfect the craft. So how can a human compete with that? Right? And the writers are making it sound like the humans are bigots. Like they are being oppressive towards the elves. And they're comparing the humans with the Trump supporters. Do you know what they're complaining about? Like part of the writer's strike. Do you know what? They're complaining about AI. Why are they complaining about AI? Well, because the AI doesn't sleep, doesn't tire. It can come up with a script in a couple of hours, if not days. They don't like that. I'll tell you something interesting though. As a person that uses AI, the AI can never ever write another Lord of the Rings. You just can't. The technology isn't there yet. But you know what it can do? It can write a far better book about Rings of Power plus Privilege than these writers can. I mean, it's so ridiculous that if you look at their little signs, like some of them are even blank. They didn't even wrote anything on it. But if you ask ChatGPT to write you a better slogan, it will definitely do so. Like, it can actually write stuff that would make people empathize with the writer's struggle far more than they can. But no, like, I do not see why I should care. I mean, look, if anything, this has shown that the American comedians, the late night comedians, are all fakes. What I mean by this is, like, they had to cancel late night comedy show. They're not writing their own fucking jokes. It's literally just a puppet on a string that reads from a teleprompter. That's your Saturday Night Live. That's your comedy specials. Like, I'm willing to bet that if Tucker Carlson's writer ended up quitting, you could still have Tucker Carlson hosting an event. But you don't see that. And these are like the late night comedy. With all they are manufactured corporate plastic people. With special effects, with a team of writers that are trying to help them up. And that's pretty much it. That's late night comedy shows for you. And I guess this writer's strike exposed that. But yeah, no, I genuinely can't see myself being affected on the fact that the writers are striking. I'm not watching any show. The only thing that I'm watching, I guess, is Cobra Kai. I mean, I don't know if that got affected or not, but that's pretty much it. It's fascinating, isn't it? What's also... It's not for you. You're a racist because you don't like the fucking mermaid. Why don't you care about us? What? We never attacked you. Why do you feel attacked? Maybe you have like a victim complex. No, maybe I noticed that you're sharing block lists amongst other writers. And every time someone remotely disagrees with your political take, you get upset. And when you have the opportunity to write something, you're not writing it for entertainment. You're literally pushing your ideology in it. How do I know? Because you're giving talk shows about it. You know, TED Talks and other things, like talking about how, you know, you're using propaganda in order to push it into comic books and stuff. And now you want me to... I disagree with your politics. You're not a writer, you're a political activist. And then there's also the other thing, it's like, oh, well, but so you're saying all writers should suffer or whatnot? If you're a good writer, then you're going to sell your stuff? Like this is another question. Well, what is a good writer? A person that sells his shit. I think it's very simple. It's a business. Alright? It's a business. Like, you're trying to make money. So if people don't buy the product, you may be the next Jules Verne, but then don't complain about not making cash. Like, you need to write what the market wants to buy. It's simple as. Oh, but well, if you want to be like the artiste, if you want to write something that's so important and intelligent, fine, but don't expect to make cash. Like, you want someone who went to work and slaved hard over a hot truck or a tractor or whatever the fuck, and then gets paid. You want his money, right? You want that person who actually toils the field to give you his money. Well, give him something that he wants to buy. I genuinely, like, where the fuck do these people think money comes from? It's like this. They do not even understand the basics of economy, right? Like, they think that the company just has the wealth and it should go to them. And it's like, well, yeah, but like if you're not generating wealth, or you're writing something that's so bad it gets canceled, if you're writing something so horrible that it has no viewership, be glad that you're getting anything. If, you know, in a fair society, you're the one that should pay. But anyway, right, so this is the funny part. It's like, oh, well, what is a good writer? I mean, I don't know, J.K. Rowling is a good writer. And they would even argue the fact. It's like, oh, she's a terrible writer. It's like, okay, but like her name is known around the world. There are people that still use clicky languages that know the name of J.K. Rowling. You manage to have a writer that... R.R. Martin, another example. The creators of Breaking Bad. Sometimes you can make something and not get paid well, but because your name is associated with the product, you become a brand. People are going to pay more just to have you. You can also go independent. Ripa has shown us this, and many other people from the Comics Gate. Like, they went independent, created their own stuff, made money. There are many manga artists that make money. Of course, there are manga artists who don't. There are many manga, but the market is what it is. Writing is something that, well, unfortunately, a lot of people can do. Very few people can do very well, but a lot of people can write. Don't believe me? Go to the furry fandom and watch them fuck. Anyone can type something on their keyboard, right? But the question is, like, can you type something that actually has character depth, that actually has a good story? That's a lot difficult to do. And because of that, the industry is super saturated. So that's why you're not getting paid. There's too many of you. I mean, look at how many writers. I mean, come on. And not to mention, in the last 5 years, nothing original. Sequels, prequels. I get it. This is what the producers want and blah, blah, blah. But the producers are suffering from an ideology that these writers are promoting. I mean, I don't see many right-wing writers. I don't see any writers saying, oh, well, we're trying to create our own stuff, but the producers aren't letting us. No, you're going along with the flow. And you notice that the flow is towards getting woke and going broke. And you keep pushing that. And you're like, oh, well, why do people not support us? Why should I support? Would you support me? If my channel gets shut down for terms of service violation, will any of these writers support me? Why isn't it a two-way street then? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.